All right, hello, welcome to this weather updates a little after 8 o'clock on August 28th, 2019. Just a little bit of an issue with the computer. I don't know, I'm having an error with Cam Studio, basically. So it's going to be a little messy, just because I had to make the file short. Otherwise, it's going to be, it's going to be a little messy. Because basically what's going on is the file gets too long, I get an error that says broken AVI index. So it may be an issue with the RAM. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But anyway, let's get to this weather update. We got a lot to talk about. Let's just keep this. This is the radar. We had a lot of rain across our area today. We're going to look at the Wonder map right now and show you that it's been kind of a wet day. It's around 70. It's a little humid out there. Looking across our area, we have some one plus inch amounts here. So 1.97 in Mineola, 1.52. We've gotten quite a bit of rain here in the middle of the Nassau County in general has gotten a lot of rain. You can see Hicksville 1.85, 1.91. East Garden City, we did have a 2-inch amount somewhere around Salisbury. There it is, right there. We go to the South Shore, and some of the amounts are even higher here. 2.15 in Oceanside, 2.85 in Freeport, 2.43 in Island Park. Belmore 2.65, 2.18. Wantaw 2.1, so they got even more rain here. 2.22 in South Farmingdale. 2.34 over by South Hicksville and Levittown, and Babylon a little less. Suffolk County got a little less. You head out east, it's more like 1.13, 0.35 in Patchogue. It gets a little less. You go to central Suffolk County, Pine Barrens area, a half an inch, 0.52 around that amount, 0.64 in Ridge. Riverhead though has some higher amounts, 1.18. Because you go out to the east end, another little batch of heavy rain came in, and if we go and look at East Hampton, you'll see 2.15, 2.24 inches of rain. But here's the interesting thing: if you go and you look at go to the city, it's nothing, absolutely nothing. So let's go and look at that right now. You're gonna have to bear with me. My computer has been really having a lot of problems lately. I can't really afford a new computer. 2.02 in Huntington. Wow, some heavy amounts on the North Shore too. Oyster Bay 2.88. So looks like there's been some flash flooding. We'll see if we can get some rainfall amounts from the Weather Service too. But look at that, barely anything in the city. 0.08, 0.08, almost nothing. And we go into Jersey, you'll see it's very low amounts, except right along the shore. So let me move this down over here. It's not moving right now. Again, my computer is having a tremendous amount of problems. Don't know why it's being so slow. I don't have any viruses. I already scanned it. It's just the computer being old. I've had this computer for 5 years now. Yeah, Toms River, some 0.37 amount, 0.77. But if you go west to Toms River, barely anything, 0.03. So here's a look at our satellite. And you will see the moisture from Tropical Depression Erin getting pulled up into our area, and I think that's why we had all the rain today. Little tropical moisture in the air. We can look at some current observations. I'm only going to look at Farmingdale because I have to keep these little segments short, basically, because I have to stop the recording and then start it again, because it seems like I can't do more than about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it seems like it has an issue. So I don't know what it is. Maybe I just have to restart the computer. Maybe it's just not enough RAM. That's probably what it is. 70 degrees at Farmingdale, 2.68. We can look at the rainfall at Farmingdale, and they got 0.94 plus 0.40, so almost an inch and a half about there in Farmingdale. So let's now go to the tropics. We're gonna look at the tropics and show you the latest what's going on with Erin. Actually, no. Forget about Erin because it's very weak. We got to talk about Hurricane Dorian. So the latest on Hurricane Dorian, 5 p.m. advisory, it is strengthened. The maximum sustained winds 80 miles an hour. Its movement is northwest at 14 miles an hour, and is a hurricane warning in effect for Puerto Rico. And then this thing is going to strengthen to a major hurricane as it approaches Florida. So a very concerning situation there with Hurricane Dorian. Let's see if we can get the satellite. I thought I had the satellite up here. I don't see it. Alright, this site is very slow loading, so while that loads, we'll look at the spaghetti models, and this is the tracks right now. It looks like they take it A lot of the models seem to track it over central Florida, so this seems to be where a lot of the models are tracking it. So anywhere between like Miami and Jacksonville, pretty much, is the whole East Florida East Coast is vulnerable at this point for this storm that is going to be hitting us. And I'm not hitting us, but hitting Florida. Um, it has to be watched. That's for sure. It has to be watched. So there's the satellite loop. Looks like it finally did load. You could see it really strengthening. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, you can see. Look at the eye starting to form. Really good convection. Really good outflow. It's going into a better environment for strengthening. Less shear, upper high, more moisture in the atmosphere, and plenty of warm water. All the things that a hurricane needs to grow. So again, we've had a lot of rain here in our area. And again, I'm sorry if this weather update is going to be a little disjointed. It's because I'm having an issue with my screen capture program, probably due to a RAM issue in the computer. I might just have to restart it. I don't know. I don't feel like doing that now. Just not enough power. The software that they make in these computers, every time it updates, it requires more and more RAM. So yeah, we got this thunderstorm in Farmingdale. Looks like thunderstorm vicinity. So a rainy day across our area. But anyway, I want to get back to the models and get back to the tropics here because we have to watch what's going on with Dorian. So let's look at the GFS, and you will see here's Dorian tracking over the Bahamas and then coming into Florida and impacting. It looks like the GFS has it impacting further north, more toward Jacksonville. And it has it doesn't have as much of a high pressure system there. And then it kind of goes into Georgia. But if we look at the the ICON model, and again, we may be issues with this site when it comes to getting these storms to load. You'll see that the ICON keeps it much further to the south, with a stronger high over here, suppressing it more to the south and having it make landfall more like toward Miami or south of Miami. And it's forming something else over there too. So that's kind of interesting as far as that goes. Let's look at our weather here and look at I had to preload all of these because the site is so slow right now. So let's look at our weather here, and the good news for us is after some morning clouds over Long Island tomorrow, we have a clear day for especially New Jersey, and then later on Long Island in the afternoon, clear day, and then same thing for Friday, clear day, and then Saturday we may be dealing with more high clouds, and then Sunday we may be dealing with more high clouds, and then maybe Labor Day we'll get rid of some of the clouds. Alright, I'm not going to spend too much time on our weather because the main thing is Dorian, and because the site is so slow, I can't really look at all the models. So let's look at the GFS temperature. So tomorrow we go into the low 80s, maybe more toward mid 80s in New Jersey. Friday, mid 80s, dry. It'll be, you see, low humidity. Then we have that secondary front come through, cools us off into the mid and upper 70s for Saturday, and Sunday the same thing. So, and then Monday we see also temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80. Dew points. Let's go and look at the dew points here. And yeah, see, I can't get the information for you. It makes it very hard. It's just a spinning circle, and so you see here we are Thursday. Humidity gets shoved offshore. We're a little more over Long Island in the morning, and then we're all in the dew points down to the mid-50s. Friday, maybe a slight increase in humidity. Still not that uncomfortable. Upper 50s, low 60s dew points. And then the dry air really comes in nicely. But you can see that front kind of gets hung up to the south, and that might be why we're going to have some clouds around Saturday. It won't be nice and clear, and then it sort of comes back up again at us on Saturday and into Monday, because GFS, again, has a weaker high, whereas some of the other models don't. If we look at the NAM, which probably won't load. Again, we're having a lot of problems with the site. Just problems all over the place today. We're trying to getting information, putting these weather updates together because the internet just can't handle it. So this is the 18Z NAM, and that only goes as far out as Saturday. So yeah, that's why I'm not using these models. Oh boy. Alright, so let me look at some more models. So let's look at windy.com and take a look at this. Because again, the other site's just not working very well as far as the models go. So let's go and take a look and see. Right, this is the euro right now, right? and this is showing, I guess, the wind speed, which is what we want to be looking at. You can see here is Erin, Tropical Depression Erin, with some of the winds, and you can see some of that moisture got caught up into our area, and that's why we had the rain today. But let's fast forward to tomorrow at 8 p.m. here. And you will start seeing Dorian. So here is Erin again, mostly offshore. It's just a tropical depression. It might strengthen a little bit, maybe a minimal tropical storm, but its impacts will mainly for our area will be the surf. But Nova Scotia could affect that. I'll try to keep my eye on that. But the main thing is Dorian, and this is Dorian right here, Hurricane Dorian. And you can see here sustained winds. It's having sustained winds around. The Euro has it pegged around sustained winds around 50, 60 miles an hour, with the wind gusts even higher than that. This is, wind gusts well above. The scale only goes, this is knots. Can we change this to miles per hour? Jeez, nobody uses miles per hour. So well over 70 miles an hour. That's why we weren't looking at the right thing. I was like, I knew that was too low. So we'll go back to the wind speed here, and you'll see wind speed's up. It has the wind speed up near 45 miles an hour on Thursday, which it's already underestimating its strength. Now, Friday, here we go. This is the actual wind speed. Purples, again, over 70 miles an hour as this is heading for Florida. All right, this is Friday, 9 p.m. Well, let's go Saturday, 7 p.m., strengthening even more. And again, this is the Euro. This is a further south track. Takes us more toward the Bahamas and more toward Miami. All right, wind speeds well over, you can zoom in a little bit. Let's see, it says E here. Let's take a look at this. So these are the sustained wind speeds in the storm. So you'll see this will be definitely a pretty intense hurricane. Wind speeds 80 mile an hour, but the gusts will be even higher than that. Look at that, 120. So that's definitely a concern right there. And again, we're looking at Saturday. So as this approaches the Bahamas, this is going to be an issue for them. Now let's go into Sunday at 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. and you can see here we are. It has it making a landfall around Palm Beach, the Euro. So the Euro is a little further south, but it's coming north. So there's going to be some kind of agreement here. Unfortunately, this is right around. I have friends who live in this area, and this is not going to be good for them at all. You can see wind speeds right here. We have wind speeds of 80 miles an hour. Actually, yeah, so 80 miles an hour. This eye wall looks pretty intense. It's got a lot of warm water to work with. Now let's go and move this to Monday morning. All right, let's move it over right here where it makes landfall right around Palm Beach. This is going to be a pretty intense storm, and you can see it holds its own. This is the wind speed here, and then we go to the wind gusts, which is really what I should keep it on. This is really disturbing, 132 miles an hour. So this whole area, this could be very, very bad for Florida. This is the Euro solution. All right. Now I'm going to have to look at the GFS. So I have other models here. I have 3 models we can choose from. So now we're looking at the GFS model, and we're going to show you how it tracks Dorian now. So again, here are the winds. You'll see these high winds here. 68. I think it's a little underestimating it a little bit, but it's going to be I think it's going to be a category 3 or 2 hurricane as it approaches Florida. But it could strengthen even further than that because of the warm waters, and we're going to talk about that too. So let's go to 10 a.m. on Saturday. Here it is. You see it's moving further north because it has a weaker ridge to the north, so it's going to move further north. And here we are at Saturday, 4 p.m. All right, Saturday at 9 p.m. All right, if I put the wind, we do have the wind gusts on here. So I do have the wind gusts in here. Okay, so this is wind gusts. GFS is not as strong with this storm at all, by the way, but I think the GFS is completely underestimating it. Here are your wind gusts, 66 miles an hour, and it has it making landfall a little further north, more toward Orlando, it looks like, or Palm Coast. And then it has it turning northward almost, a little more toward Jacksonville. See, I'm not buying this. This motion and the strength. So I think the GFS is wrong. And the NAM, I don't think it's going to go far enough out for us. So it only goes far out here. But the NAM, we got a little bit of it here, and it has a 60 mile an hour wind gust on the east side. But I think these American models are underestimating it. I think the Euro, which usually is a better track record for all these storms, will be more correct in the way in this storm, and the water temperatures are very warm in this area. So it's definitely something that we're going to have to, keep an eye on And I want to see what the euro does also with. I think we already saw Erin already. So what the euro does with Erin. I think the NAM I can actually show Erin on the NAM. So let's look at that. So let's back this up. This doesn't go that far out, but you see it has some pretty gusty winds here, 41 mile an hour. So it's going to be rough offshore, and that's why I think we're going to have some surf kicked up over the next couple of days. But the winds. The worst of the wind should stay offshore, but we have wind gusts. It'll be a little breezy because of pressure gradient, so be a little breezy tomorrow. I think that's the gist of it. Is this between the gradient of the storm and the high pressure that's building into the west? So the last part of this video, I'll show you the sea surface temperature anomalies, and it's above normal. Not tremendously above normal off Florida. It's just 1 degree Celsius above normal, or almost 2 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, but it gets more above normal as you head further north. But the water, yeah, and then on the other side too. If the euro is correct, it's going to merge on the other side of Florida. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well, because it could re-strengthen again and then be a problem for the Gulf Coast. So these are water temperatures that are plenty warm, 30.8 Celsius in the Gulf. So if this thing gets in the Gulf, if we have anything forming in the Gulf, which the aura seems to think that there will be something forming in the Gulf, this could be a monster. Look at these water temperatures, 88, 87, my gosh. Now on the east coast of Florida, you have water temperatures well into the mid-80s, 86, 87. So this is plenty warm enough to support a major hurricane, and that's why I'm very concerned about that. Between that and the low shear, humid environment that the storm is going to be in, is very favorable that we're going to have a major hurricane impacting somewhere along the Florida coast sometime over the weekend. So that will conclude this weather update. I'll keep you posted as best I can. Take care, and thank you for watching.